Hi, and welcome to Software Architecture Fundamentals Part 3, Soft Skills Techniques. My name is Neil Ford. I work for ThoughtWorks.
And my name is Mark Richards.
This video is called Soft Skills Techniques because we actually have two videos around soft skills because it's such a wide, multifaceted aspect of an architect's job. In the first two videos in this series, we mostly focused on the more technical aspects of an architect's job, but one of the things we pointed out is the architect's role is big and sprawling and touches lots and lots of different areas in the business. So you have to deal with architecture and infrastructure and delivery, but you also have to engage with business people and engage with teams. And so these two videos around soft skills are primarily focused on the upper quadrant of people and places that you have to deal with from an architecture standpoint. This diagram actually comes from the referenced website there, which is a really great resource for a tech lead and architecture kind of information. In Software Architecture Fundamentals Soft Skills Techniques,
first thing we're going to be looking at is various ways of performing architecture refactoring. Architecture refactoring is much more than a technical task, and in this segment we'll learn what the other pieces of actually refactoring an architecture are and how to do those effectively. We'll also be taking a look at leveraging checklists. Checklists are used in many industries. Airline pilots use checklists, hospitals use checklists. We should use checklists as well. So in this segment, I'll be showing you the importance of checklists, how to create checklists, and also how to leverage various key checklists within your environment, project, or teams.
One of the things that may take you by surprise as you move into the role of architect is that you're now more responsible for your individual productivity. As a developer, most of the time, your project manager, iteration manager, or tech lead is going to give you your to-do list of things to do. But as an architect, you sit a little above the project and you have to liaison with lots of other things outside the project, which means you really have to focus on making sure you are spending your time the best possible way as the day goes by. That's really about individual productivity. So we talk about some techniques and tools, personal information managers, etc., to help you leverage your productivity better as an architect.
One of the other things you're going to want to consider as an architect is whether you should go for any of the architecture certifications that are out there. In the architecture certification segment, we'll be exploring some of the various architecture boards that do provide architecture certification, the overall process of architecture certification, and how good
or bad
it is. One of the other things you're going to have to do as an architect, especially in relation to soft skills, is solve problems. And some of these problems are going to be very, very complex. In this segment, problem solving, we'll look at various techniques and tips for effectively solving problems as an architect. The other thing as an architect you're going to do almost every day is make decisions. So in the architecture decision segment, we'll be exploring what is an architecture decision, how do you form architecture decisions? How do you justify those decisions? And finally, how to document and communicate those architecture decisions to major stakeholders as well as your development teams.
Probably a new skill that you will have to exercise more as you become an architect is to be able to write your ideas down in a coherent way. Most developers don't have to write a lot of prose, but architects frequently do because you have to do proposals, you have to make a case for doing things like architectural refactorings, you have to interact with subject matter experts, you have to be able to write in a way that non-technical people can understand. So in this chapter, I give some writing skills for knowledge workers. I'm not trying to turn you into a great novelist, but I can point out a few concrete techniques that will make your writing a lot better with a lot more clarity and a lot less confusion, and that's really a key skill for an architect to have, is to be able to effectively convey their ideas. Along the same lines, even if you're not writing things down, you're probably doing presentations. The lingua franca of corporate America is PowerPoint and Keynote. And so you need to be effective at presenting your ideas as well. In this segment, I take some excerpts from my book, Presentation Patterns, which takes the Gang of Four design patterns and anti-patterns approach and applies them to technical presentations. And I specifically pull out things that are really good techniques for architects to use when doing technical presentations to make sure that your ideas have the best punch possible. Soft skills is a really tricky part of being an architect, and in this video we give you a bunch of techniques to help you hone those skills.